My name is Yaron Meydan. I'm a lawyer in Israel. What I want to talk about is about the way the courts in Israel, especially the family courts in Israel, supported by the Supreme Court in Israel, abuse human rights in Israel, maybe in the worst way possible. I know it sounds far-fetched, but it's the truth. I'm a second generation to Holocaust survivors. Both my parents were Holocaust survivors. And the last thing I ever thought would be that in Israel there will be discrimination against Jews just because they're Jews. It sounds incredible, but that's a fact. That's a fact which happens to every single Jewish father or dad, which has to go when he's get divorced or just separated from his wife, spouse, partner, whatever, one partner, and has to go to a family court. He's then being discriminated only because of his religion and gender. The thing is that the courts in Israel, in a way, hijacked the democracy. We're living in dictatorship of the judges. Now, one may think that me saying so, being a lawyer and being an Israeli, is maybe treacherous, but that's quite the opposite. I believe that the fact, just that I can say those things, without being, let's say, it's not true to say that I'm not at all afraid. I am afraid. I know that this power of the courts in Israel would go against me. I know that for sure. But still, I don't think they'll kill me. Worst case scenario would be that I would lose my license. Nevertheless, it's still better. The state of Israel, in that sense, is still better than the countries around us. Now, saying that doesn't mean that what I said at the beginning isn't the real truth. Meaning, Israel does crimes against dads like me just because they're Jewish and being males, which goes against Article 7 and Chapter 7 in the Rome Treaty, which means crimes against humanity. When an Israeli dad goes to court, there are two things which the courts work accordingly, which are against even the laws of Israel. One is, of course, tender years doctrine, which was abandoned over 20 years ago in all the Western countries in the world. And the other one is the fact that a Jewish father, a Jewish dad, has to pay alimony for child support, for his wife, even if the children are with him. Meaning, let's take my position. I'm earning a salary which is like a fourth or a fifth of what my wife earns. My two daughters, were spending most of the time with me. Saying that, I have to pay child support to her, which is more than what I earn. The math just doesn't add up. That means that in a very short time, you get to a place where I'm going to lose everything. I'm losing this house that I'm in, and I'm losing my daughters, because the daughters which I'm supposed to feed and take care of them, I can't do that. I don't have the money to do them. I don't have the money to buy. I had a 4-month child born 4 months ago. I can't buy, how do you call it?
Baby milk?
Baby milk. I don't have the money to buy him baby milk because of the child support I'm paying. And who do I pay their child support money? I'm paying that to a woman who earns 5 times more than me and can support me and my new partner and the child which I have. That doesn't make sense. And those things, if I didn't have the surrounding circle of friends and family which support me, because the only way I can really survive is by their support, I would have died. I would have perished, both me and my children. And I think that's horrific. That's hideous. That's terrible. That's unbelievable. And that's happening in Israel. And that, I don't know how to call it, whether to call it anti-Semitism. I don't know in what name to give it. But it happens in a way. On the last country on earth, you would believe that Jews would discriminate other Jews in such a horrific way.
You are a lawyer, so it's good to speak to a lawyer. A lot of people outside are struggling with the witness statements that have been given by the civilian population. You know a lot of the laws here. What kind of laws are being broken or abused?
There isn't a single law which is not broken. First and foremost, the law itself, the law which was supposed to give the directives regarding child support and the tender year themselves are saying that they should be acted in an equal way, and they're broken. So that's first and foremost. But besides that, of course, all the major all the I don't know how to call the what you would call in the United States, for instance, the Constitution. There are laws in Israel which are regarding, even though we don't have a constitution yet in Israel, there are certain laws which are regarded as constitutional laws, such as human rights laws. Those are broken, those are as if they were nothing, as if they were thin air. They're ignored completely, both by the Supreme Court and by the family courts. Of course, the treaties that Israel signed regarding the children's rights, they're trumped and being, ignored also by the state of Israel. Every single law, every human right law is being ignored by the Israeli courts. Meaning, in a sense, let's take both me and my children. Currently, the judges both in family courts and the Supreme Courts, they don't think I have a right to live and exist and support myself. They don't think my children have the right for fatherhood and for me to be able to support them. They don't think they have a right to express themselves, and they don't think that their ideas and opinions and the fact that they want to be raised by their father should be even regarded. I don't know in what words to express that would express the terror and to express which we are being treated by the family court and the Supreme Court.
How hard is it for you to represent your clients? Is it a difficult job?
To encounter this kind of treatment that you get from the family courts, judges are not always right. They're human. They make mistakes. This is not a mistake that a judge judged in the family court. It's a systematic action which goes against dads, which goes against Jewish people in Israel. And I want to say something. I know that the would-be people would think that, I go against the state of Israel. Quite the contrary. I'm in favor of the state of Israel. I think that the only way to strengthen Israel is to strengthen the Jews in Israel, to let them have rights as other people in normal Western country, which we don't have them. We don't have them. When I go to a court in Israel family court, it's like a different planet. It's like as if I would go, I know it would be horrible for someone in the outside to hear it, but I feel sometimes like I'm going to a judge in Germany of the 1930s, meaning I don't have rights. My client, if he's a male and if he's Jewish, he doesn't have any rights at all. And it's just as if I would have gone to a court in Germany of the 1930s. I know it sounds terrible, but I'm saying the truth. This is what's happening. This is what's happening here in Israel, not in 1930s in Germany, here in Israel in 2015.
What about things like the welfare or the contact centers, Merkaz Kesher or the Revacha as it's known in Hebrew?
Regarding Merkazei Kesher and those, I don't know how to say it in English, connection centers or whatever, there's so many words poured about it in all around the world. Everybody is abandoning those systems. There aren't it's terrible what's happening, and it's even worse in Israel in the sense that it's a money industry. Children have become, I don't know how to express this, they're coins is it recording?
Yeah.
Children in Israel have become, I don't know how to say it, have become klafei mikuach, cards that are being manipulated in order to get money in every possible way. And those Merkazei Kesher, they regard the children as, they're the reason for their existence. Regardless of whether they're needed or not, usually they're not needed. That's the truth. I haven't done the statistics. But with those clients I encounter, neither of them needs, the Merkaz Kesher is really needed for them.
We have to be fair here because we are supporting your conversation about fathers. What about mothers? Do you have representation of women as well? And what
I do represent women, but I have a first rule, which, by the way, many women take them. And the rules are, we're going for equality and we're going for the welfare of the children. When women, which are true and honest and good mothers, they believe in equality and really want the best for the children, they take me. And they take me, and they know that we're not going to go according to the way the judges are ruling. Those women know in advance, and I tell them in advance, listen, I'm going for equality, and I'm going for the welfare of children. And there are women who wants that. And also many women want, they want true equality, meaning they're not like, only, they don't want only to be in the historical jobs of just taking care of the children without having a chance for a career, and the husband just, or the father just to be I don't know, like check whatever machines to withdraw money from.
How's the change going to come, Yaron?
I don't believe, it's horrible to say that. I want to believe that Israel is able to do the change by itself, but I'm too long in the fight, and we need the world's support. We need the Western world support, and maybe even we need the Jews' support from around the world to support us, the Jews in Israel, to make this country a better country for us, but also for them. This Israel needs to be a true democratic country, and a country which really gives Jews, a place to be according to our Megillat Ha'atzmaut, meaning a country with equality to the citizens, even if they're Jewish.
It's a tough one to talk out like this as an Israeli, isn't it?
It took me time to be able to do that. I still believe, it's not that I believe. I know we live in a better country than the countries surround us. Just by the fact that I can say those things, without being afraid of dying. Because I do not envy an Arab that has to go against his leaders in the Arab country which he lives in. Because he has to be afraid that maybe he wouldn't live the next day. He wouldn't live to survive the next day. I would live the next day. Maybe I would lose my license, but I'm already losing everything. I lost my children. I lost my house. They're going to take my life. They're not going to take my life for that. So, and to be honest, I don't care about that either. Because they took the most important thing from me, my children.
The suicide rate's quite high here, do you know?
It's quite high among those divorcees.
The fathers, particularly.
Among the fathers. Very
because
high.
they lose their children. There's another question that's raised, and that's about the Yikub Yetziah, the no exit order. A lot of people think that's common around the world.
With the last, I don't know, just the fact, so many times I go to jails just to rescue dads who go to jail just because they're not able to pay the child support, which many times, like in my case, it's higher than the salary they earn. So, when the judges, I don't know how they do that, it doesn't make sense, but when they rule a child support which is higher than a guy's salary, in Israel that means they send him to prison because he's poor. Mm-hmm. Is there that's a pure violation of everybody's human right, of those dads. His freedom, his liberty, his whatever.
Against the Basic Law 6. What do you think about no exit orders for future payments, which are very common here, for future money? Not for debts, but
why
for
I lost everything?
Ahead.
I have 260,000 shekels for future money of the child support, which is why I have 100,000 shekels in my bank. I can't touch this money. I can't even pay the child support because they, how did you say that? How do you know that, by the way?
The future child support?
Because they took the future child support in me of 260,000 shekels. Mm-hmm. And my wife earns 5 times more than me. And the children were most of the time with me. You tell me, isn't that crazy?
It's the only country in the world, statistically, the research has been done, that actually charges people up to 20 years ahead in cash, or they can't leave the country. Or if they come in, they have to pay that before they can leave. And you've just said it yourself.
That's crazy. That's, it's inexplicable. There's no way I can explain it in words. It doesn't fit to any basic rule or law or whatever, human right or anything. It's just crazy. And truth of the matter is, at the beginning I was naive. I was trying to find the reason why it was done. There's a simple rule which probably works all around the world. Follow the money. Follow the money. And, it's terrible to say, but there's a money industry regarding these kind of actions. People are making money out of those violations, and that's the terrible thing. It's all about the money.
You know, I really thank you for this, and it's good to hear from a lawyer in Israel. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You too.